It is day number 7 of the 12 days of MLB rankings, which means I will be going through every team and ranking each of their center fielders from worst to best. If you guys have missed any of the previous days, there is a playlist with all of the positions that have been done already, or maybe some of the ones that came out after if you're watching this later. So check that out after you watch this video so you don't miss out on any of those, and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. The majority of you who watch this channel aren't subscribed. Just click that red sub button so you don't miss out on any of the content coming at you. Drop a like on the video, and make sure you get in the comment section down below and let me know if you agree or disagree with my rankings. Honestly, it's the most fun part of this. Talking baseball with you guys is amazing. So let's go ahead and skip to the part where I start ranking the players, and you guys can start telling me what I got wrong. Getting the center field ranking started at number 31, I've got Kyle Stowers of the Miami Marlins. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know if he's truly going to be the center fielder for the Marlins, but honestly, whoever they have is going to be the worst in the league. The team just doesn't have the depth right now, and for a guy like Kyle Stowers, who is probably more of a corner outfielder, the lack of offense that we've seen, the defense has been skeptical at times. He's played 117 games at the majors over 3 years, 6 homers, 15 doubles, 35 RBIs with a 600 OPS. He's never been given a shot to play full-time every single day, so I'm interested to see what he does in Miami, but I think he's going to get us started here at number 31. Next up at number 30, I've got Victor Scott, the second of the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, Victor Scott defensively is going to be awesome. The guy can absolutely fly. He's one of the fastest players in Major League Baseball, and the defensive prowess, no doubt, phenomenal. But at the plate in the 53 games we saw at the Major League level last year, it was a problem. There just wasn't really a lot of upside offensively for a guy like Victor Scott, who had difficulty getting on base, was swinging and missing a lot, and just has little to no pop in that bat right now. His main tool is his athleticism. His main tool is his glove. So for the Cardinals, you don't mind because he's going to play Gold Glove defense out in center field. But because he was so bad offensively, a 40 OPS plus, it's impossible for the glove to really outweigh it at this point. For the 29th best center fielder in Major League Baseball, Kansas City Royals, Kyle Isbell. Kyle Isbell is another one of these glove-first center fielders. He has an absolute cannon of an arm. And at the plate, while there isn't necessarily a ton of ceiling, he doesn't really strike out much. He's not a huge chase guy. 8 homers, 13 doubles, 8 triples last year. He can definitely run a little bit, part of the reason why he's a good defensive center fielder, but a sub 300 on base percentage with a 654 OPS and an OPS plus around 80 for the 3rd straight year. It just doesn't really get him higher on these rankings, even though he is a nice defensive center fielder. For the 28th best center fielder in today's video, I have former starting Yankee center fielder Trent Grisham. I got a feeling he might get traded to another team. He's a capable center fielder, at least. Let's just say his first year in New York was a bit of a train wreck. Played in 76 games, 9 homers, 8 doubles, 31 RBIs, a 190 average, 290 on base, 675 slugging for an OPS at 90. He's a good defensive center fielder, but it didn't really show last year. I don't know, it was a weird season for Grisham. He just didn't get consistent playing time. We know that the Yankee fans did not like to see him out there. He did not really get the warmest of welcomes. I don't think you feel good about him as your everyday center fielder going into the 2025 season, but this is a guy who a few years ago did show us some amazing stuff. But I think if he leaves, he'll end up being better, which is why I like him at 28 here. Keeping in the East, out in Philadelphia, center fielder Johan Rojas coming in at number 27. Rojas was really bad offensively. I thought we saw a lot of good stuff in 2023, but it kind of went all out the window in 2024. As you played more games, Rojas had lost his plate discipline. While he doesn't really strike out that much, still under 20%. He's walking under 4% of the time. Doesn't really make the most solid contact. He is a good defensive center fielder, but there are better, which is why I have him lower on this list. Just the lack of plate discipline right now and the lack of pop is a bit concerning. And I think that's why the Phillies have tried out other guys too at center field at some point. Okay, next up at number 26, Red Sox fans, throw tomatoes at me. I'm going with Ceddanne Rafaela. Now, hear me out. He's a good player, but there are some concerning things in his game. Now, Rafaela defensively in center field, a lot better than he was in the infield. And he is a plus defensive center fielder, but at the plate, I feel like it's a complete mess. I know he had a bunch of extra base hits last year, but I'm a little concerned about his offensive game. An 82 OPS plus with a walk rate below 3% and a K rate at 26%. He chases a ton. I know 15 homers, 20 doubles, 75 RBIs, 20 stolen bases, but I have a feeling there's gonna be more regression at the plate, and if not, I'm happy to buy someone in the comment section a jersey for free next year if he proves me wrong. I hope he does. I liked him as a minor league player, but at the major league level, I feel like this skill set could be exposed. He is obviously very talented athletically. He plays a great center field. He did have have good counting numbers, but I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Getting the top 25 started at number 25, I've got Johnny DeLuca of the Tampa Bay Rays. DeLuca is an interesting player. I wouldn't be surprised if the Rays squeeze a little more juice out of him next year. He's a pretty good defensive center fielder, stole some bases, but he's another one of these guys who just doesn't really get on base, doesn't have that much pop. A 609 OPS for an OPS plus 75. The center field position is bizarre. It is strange. There are a ton of players that are similar, so right now we are just kind of splitting hairs, and I think DeLuca falls in his top 25 range, but again, there are players with similar skill sets who are just better. But it's the Rays. Don't be surprised if DeLuca just breaks out for no reason whatsoever. For the 24th best center fielder in Major League Baseball, I'm heading to Houston to talk about Jake Meyers. Jake Meyers, the rare bats righty, throws lefty combination. Defensively, he is phenomenal out in center field, a really good glove out there. And at the plate, we've seen some sparks, but again, a sub 300 on base. 13 homers, 20 doubles, 3 triples, and 61 RBIs with 11 stolen bases. A 646 OPS for an OPS plus 85. This is a guy you don't necessarily want playing every single day. If you work Jake Meyers in a platoon, he's actually a really useful player. He had a 758 OPS against lefties, but because of the lack of outfield depth for the Astros, he's playing every single day, and his ceiling is a little bit capped. Okay, Blue Jays fans, before you tell me how great Dalton Varsho is defensively, most of that came in the corner. In center field, he is a good center fielder, but he is not as elite as the OAA actually leads you to believe. The thing I actually like about Varsho is, unlike a lot of these dudes, he is a league average hitter. He had a 98 OPS plus last year. His career OPS plus is a 97. 18 homers, 21 doubles, 58 RBIs with 10 stolen bases last year. Again, a sub 300 on base, a little more pop than most of these guys, and he is a good fielder. There's no doubt about it. I don't think he's as premier of a center fielder as he's being made out to be. Again, last year, he finished with 16 OAA. 5 of it came in center. The rest of it came in the corners. So that's why I'm kind of pumping the brakes here and putting him at number 23. That being said, at number 22, I've got Jacob Young of the Washington Nationals, who could be the best defensive center fielder in baseball, criminally underrated. The dude's a phenomenal athlete. Finished with 20 OAA last year, which is the 100th percentile. And while I don't really love him at the plate, he technically does square the ball up a bit, doesn't whiff a lot, doesn't strike out a lot. It's just he's not hitting the ball very hard consistently or really ever at all. But that 20 OAA puts him in a different category of center fielders right now, which is why at 22 I feel comfortable. And with an 86 OPS plus and stealing 33 bags, I think there's value here. When you have him in a lineup that's loaded, I think Jacob Young could be a nice little player. Just missing on the top 20 at number 21, I've got Jose Siri of the New York Mets. Siri dropping down a little bit, few spots here in today's rankings. He had a really weird season. I mean, he's a weird player defensively, again, elite, like 18, 19 OAA on the year. And he's going to hit close to 20 home runs a season, steal 15 bags, but he's going to strike out like 40% of the time he gets to the plate. He's going to swing and miss a ton. He's going to make some boneheaded plays, but he's a fun little player. And the elite defense plus crazy barrel rates, which sounds insane, makes him intriguing at the least, and I think just outside the top 20. Again, an elite fielder with the opportunity to hit for some power, I think is pretty valuable at the center field position. And also, I'm Mets biased, so get over it. Getting the top 20 started at number 20, I've got Jung-Hoo Lee of the San Francisco Giants. Almost impossible to give him a fair evaluation because we only saw him play 37 games last year. He hurt his shoulder, was out for the rest of the season, so we didn't really get a good look at him. In those 37 games, it was a bit unimpressive, I will say. He is a contact first, low strikeout outfielder. 37 games, 2 homers, 4 doubles, 38 hits, so a ton of singles. He got caught stealing a bunch, batting average at 262, on base 310, slugging 331, 641 OPS. If that continues, it will not play. He will have to become an elite center fielder, but I'm gonna give him benefit of the doubt. He was really good in the KBO for years. I think he'll be able to turn it around. I mean, his nickname's the grandson of the wind. That's one of the coolest nicknames in baseball. Big dropper in today's video at number 19, I've got TJ Friedl of the Cincinnati Reds. Now, it might not be fair. TJ Friedl dealt with some injuries, and it definitely affected his play. But we saw him struggle a little bit defensively. We saw him struggle a little bit offensively. I think he's going to bounce back, but for a guy who looks like he maybe got a little bit of help from playing in Cincinnati and just wasn't as good as he was in the previous year for not being an elite center fielder defensively, I did have to knock him down a peg. I will say 13 homers in 85 games, though, really interesting, along with 55 RBIs. If he's going to be that type of center fielder, that could play. But a sub 700 OPS and OPS plus 88 in that ballpark is a little bit hard to look past right now, so I did have to bump him down 9 spots to 19. Coming in as the 18th best center fielder in Major League Baseball, dropping 5 spots, Cedric Mullins of the Baltimore Orioles. Mullins is kind of in this weird category of good at everything, but not elite at one particular part of the game. Defensively, he's good. Offensively, he's good. But there's nothing that really jumps off the page besides the stolen bases, in which he stole 32 this past season. I might be a little bit harsh on Cedric Mullins. I totally admit that. I like him as a player. We both got Crohn's disease. 18 homers, homers, 16 doubles, 54 RBIs, 32 stolen bases, the 710 OPS. Good season, but it feels like he's kind of getting pushed out right now in Baltimore. I'm interested to see what happens moving forward for Mullins. I don't love dropping him down, but it just kind of felt like the spot right now. Next up at number 17, I've got Cleveland Guardian center fielder Lane Thomas. I think if we put him in left field or a corner spot, he could be higher rated, but because he's in center field, defensively, not really a great center fielder. He struggled a lot in right field. He's not going to be as great in center field. He is a good player, though, and he did get hot towards the end of his time with Cleveland, even though with Cleveland in 53 games, overall in the year in total, 15 homers, 26 doubles, 63 RBIs with 32 stolen bases, a 709 OPS plus at 101. I remember what he did back in 2023. He had a great season, 28 homers, 36 doubles, 20 stolen bases. I could see him returning to that form with Cleveland now that he's a little more settled in. 85 OPS plus. At number 16, I've got Pete Crow Armstrong of the Chicago Cubs. Defensively, you probably are looking at the best defensive center fielder in the game. Like over a full season, he's going to put up some crazy numbers out there. And we saw a moment where PCA looked like he learned how to hit. They changed his bat path, and he's making a lot more contact, squaring up the ball more. But he still has big concerns at the plate. He chases, doesn't have the best plate discipline. A 5% walk rate is concerning, but man, in the field, he's special. He does have some pop. If he can get that offensive game under control, you are looking at an easy top 10 center fielder, and he's only 23 years old next season, so I'm interested to see what PCA can do for the Cubs, if he's even the opening day center fielder. Right in the middle now, at number 15, Arizona Diamondbacks center fielder Jake McCarthy. I'll say it every single year. Fun fact about Jake McCarthy, probably the best athlete in baseball. In high school, he was a running back in the state of Pennsylvania, made first team All-State over Saquon Barkley, who is arguably the best running back in football right now. That's crazy. He had another really good year. 8 homers, 13 doubles, 7 triples, 56 RBIs with 25 stolen bases, a 749 OPS for an OPS plus at 109, 5 OAA in center field in 500 innings, so you're looking at a really nice defensive center fielder. The thing that concerns me is there's always a hot start for him, and then he falls off massively. And he did that again last year. September and October were a nightmare for him after a great July and August. So I'm interested to see what the Diamondbacks do with Jake McCarthy. I think he's a really talented athlete who's starting to figure it out at the plate, which would be huge for his development. Next up, at the number 14 spot, I've got Tommy Edman of the Los Angeles Dodgers. They announced a few days ago that Tommy Edman will be their center fielder going into the 2025 season. I think that's a good move. He's actually pretty good defensively in center field, and I know for the full season, we don't have a ton of numbers with him. 37 games, 6 homers, 5 doubles, 20 RBIs, 6 stolen bases, a 711 OPS for an OPS plus at 101. But the Dodgers seem to have figured something out with Tommy Edman. They're getting him to hit for a lot more power, which is super interesting because that's always been the thing lacking from his game. Just didn't really have a lot of pop. If the Dodgers can get him to be a 15 to 20 home run a year guy with pretty good center field defense, he's going to be a very valuable player to this team. A huge asset like we saw in their run to the World Series. I mean, he absolutely killed my Mets. God, Tommy Edman. Let's head to the state of Texas to talk about the 13th center fielder in today's video. That's going to be Evan Carter. Evan Carter had an injury-riddled season last year. I also want to throw it out. What's crazy is Evan Carter, I feel like we've seen play so much, but he's really only played 68 games at the majors. 223 average doesn't sound great. 316 on base is nice. 447 slugging is pretty good. An OPS plus at 114 with an OPS at 763. 10 homers, 10 doubles, 27 RBIs, 5 stolen bases. You're looking at a 162 game average of about 25 homers, 25 doubles, 15 stolen bases, and a 760 OPS. He's played mostly center field in the minors, so I think he's able to do it. And he's only 22 years old. I mean, Evan Carter is really great. We just really haven't seen him play that much, and especially not in the last year. Big improvement for this guy at number 12, JJ Bleday of the Oakland A's. Another guy who, if you moved him to the corner, he'd probably be higher ranked. Center field's not really the position for him. Defensively, I think he is one of the worst guys on this list, but at the plate, JJ Bleday was awesome last year. So good, you can't deny it. One of the best hitting center fielders last season. Obviously, Aaron Judge, like, that doesn't count. But 20 homers, 43 doubles, 4 triples, 60 RBIs in Oakland, a 243 average, 324 on base, 437 slugging, gave him an OPS at 762 for an OPS plus at 120. 20% better than league average. That's awesome for JJ Bleday. Again, defensively in center field, not the best position for him, but the dude can absolutely mash. And for someone who is the number 4 overall pick back in 2019, it's nice to see him break out because he definitely struggled for a while. Just missing on the top 10. At number 11, I've got Garrett Mitchell of the Milwaukee Brewers. Similarly to Evan Carter, Garrett Mitchell over 3 seasons, we've only seen 116 games. Not a lot, but he's low-key really good. 13 homers, 17 doubles, 37 RBIs, 20 stolen bases, a 264 average, 343 on base, 463 slugging, and an 805 OPS for an OPS plus at 121. With good defense, as long as he's healthy, I think the Brewers got a really good ball player here. Pre-draft, he was a top 10 player in 2020, but the diabetes concerned people. It caused him to drop to the Brewers at 20. Might have gotten a steal. This dude is a very good baseball player. All right, getting the top 10 started. At number 10, Brenton Doyle of the Colorado Rockies fans. You happy, Rockies fans? You told me to get hip to him last year when I ranked him at 27. To be fair, he was atrocious, but he turned it around. He's always been great defensively, disgusting out there in center field. Won his second Gold Glove last year, but where he really took strides forward was offensively. He was a 53 OPS plus player in 2023. Last year, 104, doubled the offensive production. 23 homers, 24 doubles, 72 RBIs with 30 stolen bases, hitting 260 with a 317 on base, 446 slugging, and a 764 OPS. I don't know how sticky the offensive numbers are for him. I don't know if he's just a Coors merchant, but he put up good numbers, plays amazing defense. I'm going to give him the respect he deserves, especially because I talked so much trash the year before. For the 9th best center fielder in Major League Baseball, criminally underrated, Parker Meadows of the Detroit Tigers. I really like Parker Meadows. Defensively, really good. At the plate, really good. I think there's a world where he could have a major breakout in 2025. In 82 games, 9 homers, 12 doubles, 6 triples, 28 RBIs with 9 stolen bases, a 310 on base, 433 slugging, 743 OPS for an OPS plus at 109. You really saw him heat up in the second half where he had an 840 OPS. Huge, underrated reason why the Tigers went on a run. Parker Meadows is a dog. Remember the name. One of the biggest risers in today's video. For the 8th best center fielder in today's video, can't believe I'm saying it, O'Neal Cruz. Moved from shortstop to center field to end the season, and I do think it's the right move. Capitalize that athleticism. He has a cannon of an arm. He moves like a gazelle out there. And at the plate, O'Neal Cruz might be figuring it out. 21 homers, 34 doubles, 76 RBIs with 22 stolen bases. He was caught only once last year. The efficiency is crazy. 259 average, 324 on base, 449 slugging for a 773 OPS. OPS plus at 113. By far the best season of his career. Might be figuring things out here at age 26, and moving to center field feels like a better position for him. Another dude who in the second half of the season, 821 OPS, really started to figure it out. He could be scary good. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a top 5 center fielder by the end of the year. Despite having a garbage season, at number 7, I've got Luis Robert Jr. of the Chicago White Sox. I can't quit this guy. When he's on and when he's right, he has the ability to be one of the most talented players in Major League Baseball. And coming off a season in 2023 where he had nearly 40 homers, 40 doubles, and 20 stolen bases with an 857 OPS, I just can't get rid of that itch in my brain that says Luis Robert is the guy. Last year, it felt like the White Sox whole culture was bad. It felt like Robert might have been dogging it a little bit, along with only playing 100 games because, of course, he got injured. 14 homers, 19 doubles, a 657 OPS. Like, it was a nightmare. And honestly, I don't really care, because the ceiling on him is crazy, and this was easily the worst season we've seen, which was also on the worst team baseball's ever seen. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's still a stud. Just missing on the top 5, at number 6, I've got newly acquired New York Yankees center fielder Cody Bellinger. What an absolute fleece job that was. And while he did take a step back from 2023, the OPS plus dropped 28 points. We kind of knew that was going to happen. 18 homers, 23 doubles, 78 RBIs. It wasn't particularly a great year. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't amazing for Bellinger. I think with the slow start to the year, along with just signing late, it all kind of just snowballed into what was a mediocre season. But he still does a lot of really good things, still has great plate discipline, still not striking out a ton, which is huge. I can expect a bounce back. Getting the top 5 start at number 5, I've got Byron Buxton of the Minnesota Twins. Buxton low-key had a really awesome year last year, and what do you know? His numbers when he plays center field versus DHing, so much better. Dude loves to play the outfield. It's just terrifying because every time he steps on the field, he gets hurt. But last year in 102 games, because he will never play more than 102, it seems like, hasn't played more than 102 since 2017, where he played 140, but in that 102, 18 homers, 27 doubles, 56 RBIs, 279 average, 524 slugging, 859 OPS for an OPS plus at 137. Oh, and he's awesome in center field defensively. The guy gets to every single baseball. Buck is a freak. He's just got to stay healthy, and he could be an MVP candidate. Next up at the number 4 spot, I got Michael Harris, the second of the Atlanta Braves. Now, I know it was a down year for Michael Harris, only 110 games, a below 100 OPS plus, but I feel like when you watch this guy play, you know he's super talented. There's definitely some concerns in his game. He isn't perfect. Like, Michael Harris loves to chase, and he doesn't walk, but boy does he hit the baseball hard consistently. He's an awesome center fielder, has a cannon of an arm. He's both underrated and overrated at the same time. He could be one of the most volatile players in the league, because when things go right, sick, nasty player like he was in 2022. When things go wrong, not as amazing, but still good like he was in 2024. 16 homers, 14 doubles, 48 RBIs, 10 stolen bases. I expect him to be better next year. Making his first ever appearance on the rankings at number 3, Jackson Merrill of the San Diego Padres. He's so good. He's great defensively. He's great offensively. He does it all. Maybe he doesn't walk enough, but I don't care. He strikes out less than 20% of the time, had almost 60 extra base hits, stole 16 bases, was a major reason why the Padres made the playoffs last year, finished 9th in MVP voting, 2nd in Rookie of the Year, Silver Slugger, All-Star, 24 homers, 31 doubles, 6 triples, 90 RBIs, a 292 average, 326 on base, 500 slugging for an 826 OPS. There's literally not a thing you couldn't like about Jackson Merrill, and he's only going to be 22 next year. One of the uber talented players right now in Major League Baseball. Same spot as last year at number 2, despite playing in less than 30 games, Mike Trout. I don't care. I can't do it. I mean, look at the list, guys. Mike Trout, if he plays even 100 games, has a chance to be the best center fielder in baseball. Now, granted, he doesn't play a lot of games. He's only played 100 once in the last 5 seasons. But man, even in these 29 games he played, 10 homers, 14 RBIs, which almost doesn't even feel real, an 867 OPS for an OPS plus at 140. I think you got to move him to the corner, but right now it looks like he's playing center, which is crazy. And he's definitely not the same Mike Trout that he once was, but I still think on this center field list, I do think he is better than all the guys he's in front of. And of course, there is still one more guy that I think right now is a better center fielder, and that is coming in at number 1, keeping in the American League West, Julio Rodriguez of the Seattle Mariners. Julio's doing that weird thing where he is still a phenomenal baseball player, but we've seen him get worse and worse and worse every year. So there is a little bit of cause for concern. Last year was the worst year of his career, but I mean, he was still a 4 to 5 win player, played great defense in center, hit 20 homers, stole 20 bases, but he just wasn't as consistently good as he had been in previous years. He finished 4th in MVP voting in 2023, 7th as a rookie in 2022. We're waiting for that breakout forward where right now he's regressing, so it feels weird to put him at 1, but I do think right now in baseball, he is the most talented and best actual center fielder, because again, Judge is going to go to right in my opinion. So I got J-Rod at 1 despite having a down year. I just think it's hard to rationalize anybody above him, especially from a pure talent level. We know he has the ability to be one of the 10, 15, 20 best players in the league when he's clicking. So there they are, my center field rankings for the 2025 season. I'd love to know what you guys are thinking down in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What do you like and dislike? Drop a like on the video if you did enjoy. It really does help support the channel, as well as subscribe. There's no reason you shouldn't be. Click that sub button, join the team. Follow me on all my social media, GiraffeNeckMarc. Links are in the description. That's where I'll wrap it up. You guys know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload, so click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you all tomorrow for the right field rankings. Bye!